Thank you for your robust participation this afternoon. It's really inspiring just to hear the din of the noise and to hear some of the reports some of you have already given me. So thank you, all of you, for being here, both to receive and to give to this conversation. I'm going to be very brief again, but I do want to make a few introductions. So I do want to, first of all, acknowledge Rabbi Shmuel Feld, the founding director of JEIC. Where is he? There he is. Okay. Rabbi Feld has been my partner and my friend and my teacher these last 7 years. As I found myself getting drawn into the world of Jewish day school education, someplace I didn't think I wanted to be, but I'm glad I am. My kids weren't sure they wanted to be there, but hopefully the future is getting brighter and brighter thanks to so many of you in the room. And Rabbi Feld, thank you for your friendship and partnership and leadership. And I guess it's about a year since Sharon Freundel joined us as our managing director, and Sharon's brought to JEIC another dimension, and they really have become, Manette likes to call them our dynamic duo, and in fact they are a dynamic duo, and you really have brought to us a whole new level of knowledge and connectedness, and we really appreciate your presence and the program that the two of you, with some help, have put together for all of us for the next couple of days and in the many years to come too. I do want to also acknowledge some of the folks from the Mayberg Foundation staff team, some of whom are probably out of the room dealing with the things that we're not seeing, and that's good. But I want to acknowledge our managing director, Amanda Mizrahi, our senior communications officer, Rebecca Wiseman, our office manager, Marnie Darby, and there's several others who may or may not be here. So if you didn't say hello, we'll talk about you later. Okay? All right. I do want to mention the Mayberg Foundation is dedicated to proliferating Jewish wisdom and values in the contemporary world. We do this with 4 core values, and those are all values that I think you'll see in just about everything that we fund and the programs we're engaged with, and especially JEIC. And those are entrepreneurial philanthropy, foundational Judaism, the connectedness of all Jews, and collective effort. And that vision really comes from our trustees, Manette and Louis Mayberg, who I also want to acknowledge tonight, both of whom are here. It's easy to donate money or to invest money, but it's very difficult to do it wisely and to do it with impact. And Manette and Louis bring not only their wealth and generosity to the Jewish education world, but also a lot of hard work and a lot of wisdom. And I really appreciate not only your generosity, but very personally, your partnership and friendship. So thank you for everything that you both do. Okay, I'm going to ask Manette to come up in just a moment. Manette Mayberg serves as a trustee of the Mayberg Foundation. And in this capacity, she founded the Jewish Education Innovation Challenge in 2012, JEIC. Also, she's also the founder of My Zuzah, more recently in 2017. She's also co-founder of a program you know as the Jewish Women's Renaissance Project, but recently announced the new name, Momentum. So we're proud to have representatives of Momentum in the room tonight. She's also a national vice president of the Orthodox Union, and she served on the board of directors for the Yeshiva of Greater Washington and currently serves as an executive committee member at the Berman Hebrew Academy. She's been a partner and a friend and a teacher, and With that, I give you Mrs. Manette Mayberg.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly feel that we're blessed to have the best professional staff I could imagine. Well, welcome everyone to Baltimore. It's been great moving the IR around since the days of Bal Harbor, which some of you will remember. We were in Boston, hosted by the Winshaw's. We were in DC last year, and now here we are in Baltimore. And the best thing I find about moving it around is that everywhere we go, we have like a local contingency that joins us, and many for the first time. And we have some fantastic Baltimoreans in the, is that the right word? Is it Baltimoreans? What? Baltimoreans. No, I can't say that. But every time I say it, I'm always like, is that the right word? I don't know. Anyway, I'm a Washingtonian, which, as you know, is not so far. But I just had the hardest time getting here today. I put the hotel in the GPS like I usually do. And you assume everything's going to go as planned. It's going to get you right to your destination. And you know how like you realize at some point you're just like going around and around in circles and like it's just not. Well, it's so frustrating when that happens. Why? Because we think it's supposed to work perfectly like it usually does. In fact, it's so funny that when Yossi Kastan from Berman walked into our office this morning for the pre-conference, he said to me, "I'm so sorry I'm late. You can't believe what I did. I pushed my destination from last night in my GPS, and I drove to the Federation building instead of to your office." So, look, it's not perfect, but the truth is my favorite part about the GPS is really what comes out of the mistake. Because when you make a wrong turn, you know how like it goes recalculating, like I love that because she's so determined and she always gets me there. I mean, that's the truth. Like ultimately, I get where I need to be. It's truly amazing. So I'd like you to just imagine with me for a minute, and I'm just gonna say I cannot use the word imagine anymore. Now that I sat in on the IECA session with Michal, it's a holy word. I learned that today. So let's use our holy thoughts and imagine with me that we each had an internal GPS, like a personal one. Like we could put in our personal and professional goals, and the system would guide us through our daily life, like through all of our decisions, so that we got to that destination as effectively as possible. Well, the truth is, in our culture today, we are craving that guidance. I mean, it's evidenced by the volumes of books on life guidance, right? They're fantastic books. And the proliferation of coaches, life coaches, professional coaches, corporate coaches, right? Everybody wants guidance. Everybody wants to reach their best self and their personal fulfillment, and we instinctively know that if we had the proper guidance, we would get there. So now I'm going to ask you to just bump up that imagination one more time, and let's imagine that we had a GPS system for our Jewish day schools. Wouldn't it be wild if we could put in to a system the mission and vision and values of our schools, and we would get the guidance that we needed to take us to those goals most effectively? And imagine if we got off track, let's say we weren't making the right decisions toward the mission, that it would just redirect us. Or if our value, or if our policies weren't aligning with the values, it would just like re-navigate us so that we could get there. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, I call this GPS God-powered school. And you're wondering, what is a God-powered school? Well, you know those volumes of books I was talking about? You know, we have them. We have them. And they're time-tested over thousands of years. And the sum of those holy texts, if those informed and guided the teachings of eternal wisdom that we have, that's a God-powered school. And it's a dream. It's my dream. But it's not a fantasy. It's possible. A God-powered school is truly guided by espoused Jewish values. A GPS guides students to develop a relationship with the divine. A God-powered school steers them toward the destination of a strong Jewish identity and Jewish self-esteem. The school and community culture demand that policies, content, and pedagogy all support the student's journey of Jewish discovery. You know, Todd told me a story last week, our very own Todd Sukal. And it was exactly to this point. He told me that when he was very early in his career, his boss and mentor said to him, "Todd, it's great to keep your eye on the ball, but first, you have to know what the ball is." You hear? You have to know what the ball is. And in GPS terms, that would mean we really have to know what our destination is. Perhaps we don't even realize that we're not always headed in the right direction. It's like, you know, when the first time you put on a pair of glasses, if you can even remember back that far, it's like you didn't realize you weren't seeing clearly till you put the glasses on, right? So many of our graduates, they get the what of Jewish knowledge, but they're missing the why and the how. Do our policies build or destroy? Do our assessments and feedback in Judaic studies convey the distinction that Jewish studies deserve? Should we continue with grading practices in Jewish studies that risk long-term damage to Jewish self-esteem? And let's ask, what actually keeps students moving towards a destination of a strong Jewish identity and well-being? Well, intrinsic motivation is the best driver. Can we afford to be anything other than student-centered? Can we afford to be anything other than God-centered? A GPS is possible if educators, funders, influencers, and parents, and I think that covers us all in the room here, if we demand a process of self-reflection and correction to stay on course. Honestly, are we always focused on where we're headed, or do we sometimes get distracted with, frankly, things that really just don't matter and certainly don't navigate students effectively? My husband recently wrote a brilliant article, if I say so myself. It was published in Jewish press, and it was picked up by the Jerusalem Post. He writes about being approached in Korea about Talmud study. It became clear that no matter how much a Korean or anyone else studies Talmud, if there is no belief system, no values or lifestyle to support that learning, attaining Jewish wisdom is impossible. Lewis poses the question, and I'm going to quote, "Could our sacred text help him, the Korean, maximize his potential without any personal relevance? Living it and learning it, that's the secret sauce," he concluded. And that's the point. We have to convey both knowledge and live our values. We must make an honest evaluation of how our schools measure up to their stated values and mission of developing a whole person. Yes, schools evaluate. They evaluate with grades and scores and rankings and what yeshivas and seminaries and colleges and universities their graduates get into. Are text and skills important? Yes, they are super important. But it's not the whole ball. This is really what we are illuminating together here. How to move toward a model of God-powered schools. Ones that value the letter of the law and the spirit of the law alike. Allow yourself to imagine a God-powered school where values and actions align in policy, practice, and spirit. Where our connections to the divine help us stay on course and navigate the beautiful and challenging landscape of life. Where our students are developing relationships with the divine to support their scaffolding of a solid and enduring identity. A GPS is a place where Jewish self-esteem is built and not destroyed, where individual potential is realized and celebrated. This is a GPS that will never fail to connect, one whose signal remains strong, and one that will ensure that each of our students reach their unique destination. Let's together keep our eye on that ball, that whole ball, and make GPS a reality. Please take a look at the values on the trees on your tables and scan the barcodes. Imagine with us what a God-powered school looks like. Thank you for coming on this journey with us to discover what will make our students thrive. Todd would use the metaphor of knowing what the ball is. And our GPS would insist that we be clear about our destination. But no matter what you call it, I think Lewis said it best. Living it and learning it, that's the secret sauce.